On today's show, Giannis Antetokounmpo says that the best career accomplishment he's ever had, and he's won MVPs, he's won the NBA Finals, and he's been All-NBA and so many other things, is a bronze medal in EuroBasket. Is it detrimental to the NBA? We'll talk about that and more on today's Locked On NBA Game Night.
When that final buzzer rings, you know it's time for Locked On NBA Game Night. All the post-game reactions to every game across the league, every single night, with insights only the hosts at Locked On can provide. It's the true NBA fans' one stop for all the action. Every game, every night. It's Locked On NBA Game Night. Tipping off now.
And welcome. You're Locked On NBA Gameless Night. My name is Nick Angstadt, host of Locked On Maverick Podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Thanks for being in every day or making Locked On NBA your first listen. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers can bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. Download the app today. Joining me, as always, from the Locked On Bucks podcast. What'd you see in the NBA tonight, Camille Davis?
Nothing in the NBA, really, but my Packers are 2-0, so I feel really good about that, Nick.
My Bengals are 2-0, and yet I don't feel as good for certain reasons.
I can see that.
I just can't put my toe on it. I just can't figure out why I don't feel as good about 2-0 over here. And the Cowboys are 1-1, and I don't know that anybody feels good. Even Cowboys fans, they feel good about it.
Hey, thank you, Jerry, for Micah Parsons again. Appreciate it.
But we're not here talking about the NFL. You can go listen to Locked On NFL for that. We're talking about the NBA today. Adam Silver said that the NBA is a highlights league. For those of us that still enjoy games, what does that mean for the league? Was it a good comment? Was it detrimental to the league? We'll talk about that. Also, Kobe Bufkin got traded today from the Nets. So we'll talk about what that means for the Hawks. Our friend Brad Rowland, Locked On Hawks, had some thoughts on it. And then, of course, we'll play Count It Up, where we count the most interesting things in the NBA, including Jonathan Kuminga. Is it put up or shut up time for him? And does Adam Silver need to make a example out of the Clippers and Steve Ballmer? But let's start here, Camille Davis. Your guy, Giannis Antetokounmpo in Greece, in EuroBasket, won a bronze medal, and he was very excited about it. There was a video of him afterwards on Instagram Live, and I saw somebody on Reddit had translated it, and he said, basically, where the F am I going to go? I don't want this to end with the national team. I want to stay here. Let's play one more game. I'm the only one that hasn't showered yet. I'll stay here the whole night. The whole night. He was very excited about his bronze medal in EuroBasket for Greece. And then he got on the podium and said this about the whole experience, the whole accomplishment, and anything. It's a long clip, but the main thing is listen to what he says about this being one of the greatest career accomplishments that he's had in his career.
For you, you have done anything in your career in the NBA with the Bucks and individual accolades. You won the first medal as a player of Greek national team. What's next in your bucket list? Winning with the Greek national team.
I don't know. Right now, I always try to live in the present. This was something that I hadn't accomplished in my career, and I'm very, very happy that I've accomplished. This is I talk with Coach Vasilis, and this, if not better, from the championship I won with the Bucks. You know, obviously, winning a championship for the NBA, it's a huge accomplishment. And Milwaukee is an incredible city, but it's 500, 600,000 people. You know, when you're able to make 12 million Greeks happy and being able to inspire the next generation the way they inspire us and the way the previous generation in '87 inspired them, I think it's the biggest thing ever. So right now, I'm very, very happy and focused on that we're able to do this. There's a kid right now watching the TV that is going to be very, very happy, and he's going to believe that one day he can win a medal with the national team the same way I believed when they beat the USA team. And now, fast forward, 20 years later, I'm in this podium with a medal. So, man, it's probably the best accomplishment I've had in my career. And I don't want to put you in a tough spot, Coach. If Coach Panoulis is not here, I'm not here. The moment he's here, I'm here. Simple as that. He brings the best out of me, he brings the best out of the team, and he has a winning mentality. And I just want to be able to be with people that have greatness and people that have been there before and people that know what it takes to win and people that know how to push their best players in the whole team.
I have several things to say about this, right? One thing is, first of all, how does he says Milwaukee is a city of 500 to 600,000 people. Great guess. 563,000, which is
right
like
there, yeah.
right in the middle. Why is it only just Milwaukee's population while Greece is the entire country instead of the state of Wisconsin that is about 6 million people? Why does that not count? First of all, we can get to that. We can get to that in a second.
It's a great question. And
I don't want to attack the logic of this first and not the actual comment, but that one.
Well, I think it's because the jersey says Milwaukee. Like, I made a comment when the Packers won their Super Bowl, the last one 15 years ago at this point, of like, man, this feels great because it's the Green Bay Packers. It's my favorite team. It's the state. But I was like, the moment the Bucks or the Brewers win, it's going to feel different for me as a native Milwaukeean to see Milwaukee on the chest rather than Wisconsin or Bay or a different area. Like, yes, it's all in the same state, but the way that the region came together too for that championship, the unity there in the city, and he lived in the city. So I'm thinking for him too, of walking around, experiencing what that felt like. He thinks of Milwaukee first before he thinks of the entire state of Wisconsin.
And I'm sure he's been to many places in Wisconsin other than Milwaukee.
Right. Gosh, for the Herd games, trips to Green Bay for game.
Sure.
That's
as a native Milwaukeean, like you said, did you feel some kind of way that he said that this with Greece is his best career accomplishment?
No.
More so than the Bucks championship?
No, because I know the championship still meant something to him. Like, I think sometimes people hear something and think because this is the greatest, everything else didn't matter. And that's not the case of it. Like, it's just a ranking of how this personally felt. And again, one thing he loved about the championship in Milwaukee back in 21 was the unity. He spoke of that a lot, of seeing how the city came together. And if that's one of the main sticking points for him of thinking of like what that experience felt like, I can only imagine that feeling when it is millions of people instead of just, even if you want to do 6 million versus 12 million.
It's 6 million in Wisconsin.
You know what I mean? Even if you do the difference between 6 and 12, like it's still like, and it's a country that he's from. Like, as much as he loves Milwaukee, he grew up in Milwaukee. This is still a job. Like, he moved here for work. Greece is where he is from, where that's his place. Like, when he's not playing basketball, he's in Greece. When he retires, he wants to be in Greece. So like, I don't feel no qualms about it because I know Milwaukee means something to him, even if it doesn't mean as much as Greece. But I can't fault somebody for not picking their work city over their home city.
Hey, this is my work city in Dallas. I ended up here and it's accepted me, and now I live here.
Yeah. And he's accepted here. He's good anywhere in the city. Milwaukee, or Giannis is good, and he knows that, him and his family.
The other part of this is something Matt Moore said on Locked On NBA Daily earlier today. He said that this comment is actually detrimental to the league because, and I kind of agree with him in the sense that the EuroBasket and some of these other tournaments are starting to have more weight. It's not just the NBA is king and nothing else. Mm-hmm. It's not just the NBA is the dream and nothing else even matters, right? It's all of a sudden a EuroBasket or something like that can matter more to an NBA superstar than an NBA championship. Do you agree or disagree that this is detrimental to the league because it makes an NBA championship seem like it's worth a little bit less?
I think that a player expressing his personal comments isn't as detrimental to the league as maybe a commissioner just saying, you know, we're a highlight league or something along those lines. Like, I can understand that, but the reality of it is basketball is now becoming a global sport. The NBA was not going to be the only league, the only thing that mattered forever. And while Americans, for us, NBA is king. Like, again, it's a global sport. So other countries are looking at it in a different way, a different light, which is part of why the NBA wants to tap back into that European market and start NBA Europe, because they want to establish their ties there. Because I'm guessing they can see what we can see, which is how global this game is getting and how people feel so strongly about EuroBasket, about FIBA, about all of these other international competitions. It's like, well, let's get in here. And also for the NBA, if you don't want this to be detrimental, maybe you shouldn't do things detrimental to your product, and maybe you should promote it better. And maybe, you know what? I'll save it. But I'm just saying, like, Giannis, we can't say that's detrimental and not look at what some of the things Silver's been saying and doing.
It's not detrimental. It just shows how far we've come in the world as to with basketball. Think back to like the Olympics and the Dream Team. That was like the number one thing. And then an NBA championship was, but like the NBA was the biggest, best league in the world. And that was where all the best players go. And there are now some really good players that go elsewhere. There's comments from Shane Larkin recently where he's like, I could go play in the NBA if I wanted to, but I'd much rather play over here where I can actually play. And the talent is getting spread out just a little more. Not that Shane Larkin would be like some all-star in the NBA or something like that. But I think it is interesting. It does show how far we've come. I don't think it's detrimental to the league either, but it does show that. And Giannis is kind of an interesting guy, right? He's had comments about he doesn't think losses are the worst thing in the world. And what was his quote about how victory or success is not always.
Yeah, he's not a loser. Losing, he had the whole like emotional thing about how he's not just a loser, how he's won at life and it's a game and all of those things too. So
sometimes there are things that like he's already won at life. So just because he won an NBA championship doesn't mean that is, the top's number one thing ever. But it does seem to show that the NBA, it's not just NBA championship and nothing for everyone else. And even Nikola Jokic, like people make the jokes about how happy he looks when he's with his horses back home. But if you watched even Court of Gold on Netflix and saw his reaction to the Serbia team and just how into international play he was too, like these games mean something differently for international players to represent their countries. And I think there will always be the next level of NBA stars like Luka. An NBA championship means everything to him. He's talked about it so much. Maybe not everything to him, but that's his number one goal is that he wants to go win an NBA championship in some way because he doesn't have one, right? Mm-hmm. The guys that have one, it's like, all right, well, I have one. Now be great to get another one, but also now I have these other things that I want to do and accomplish in my career and all that. Coming up, Camille has some thoughts and some feelings about what Adam Silver said about the NBA being a highlights league. Stick around for that. Today's episode of Locked On NBA Game Night is brought to you by 5 Hour Energy. 5 Hour Energy is there when you are just at the end and you just need a little boost. You need something to get you over the edge. Caffeine just got a flavor upgrade. 5 Hour Energy shots deliver tasty caffeine in 17 bold flavors, each 2-ounce shot packets. They give you the caffeine of a premium 12-ounce cup of coffee, plus B vitamins and nutrition with 0 sugar and 0 crashes. You got to love that. I love that they're portable. You can carry them around anywhere. They have big flavor, big taste, tiny shot. You can just take it anywhere you want and get that boost whenever you need it. I do it on road trips. I use them in a bunch of different times when I'm like doing shows late at night. And I'm like, all right, I got to get these shows out. Enough with the boring flavorless caffeine. It's time to give your caffeine a flavor upgrade with 5 Hour Energy shots. Get the favorites you love or be bold and try something new in store. They have like 17 flavors now. It's kind of wild. Online at 5hourenergy.com, the number 5hourenergy.com, or on Amazon today, 5hourenergy.com. Thanks for hanging out with us on Locked On NBA Game Night, being part of the show, being an everyday or listening every day. We have a daily Locked On show that covers your favorite team. If you want to hear more about the Milwaukee Bucks and Giannis and the state of Wisconsin, the city of Milwaukee, the difference between the two, and all that, go listen to Locked On Packers with Camille and Justin. I host Locked On Mavs. You can listen to that if you care about Cooper Flag in any way, shape, or form. If you care about the NBA at all, you'll listen to this show every day.
That's right.
And you may have something to say about what Adam Silver said recently. He was asked about how a general NBA fan now needs different types of streaming services in order to watch the league. There's going to be Amazon. There's going to be Peacock exclusive games. You have to have Peacock to watch certain games in the NBA this year, which is kind of wild. And he was asked about it, and they were asked about the cost to the consumer and all that. And he basically said, there's a huge amount of our content that people can essentially consume for free. Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. He also mentioned YouTube, you name it. There's enormous amounts of content out there, and basically said the NBA is a highlights league. Camille, is this good or bad for the NBA that Adam Silver is saying, all right, well, if you guys don't want to pay for it, here's the free stuff over here. Like go over to the discount aisle.
It is so bad. It is so bad. And I think I can understand his intention of the comment, which is like, okay, we know we're adding all these different streaming services, but you still have YouTube. You still have all these other avenues to watch. But it's not watching a full game. It's watching clips. It's watching highlights, which to his point of the NBA being a quote unquote highlight league, he's saying like, hey, there's ways to consume it, which if you're not a fan of the game, sure. But like as the commissioner of a sport, I feel like your job is to like cultivate the love of the game. And I don't see that from this comment, because if you're telling people just watch highlights, like you're giving into all of the crazy social media debates where it's like no real substance, because you're not really understanding and watching the full game. And I feel like the number one thing as commissioner is that you need to champion your sport. And Adam Silver, again, with this comment shows me that he seems to be just more okay with the fact that We got our bag from Peacock. We got our bag from Amazon. We got our bag already. If you can't afford it, brokey, well, you just watch clips. But everyone else who can't afford it, go ahead and watch the full game. And I don't like that energy.
This is the exact same version of in 2025, what it was back in like the 90s, early 2000s. Well, NBA games are so expensive. I can't get tickets to NBA games because they're too expensive. Well, you can just watch it on TV. That's the same. It's the same thing to me. You can just watch it on TV. That's the same thing to me. I want to experience this. I want to actually, go to a game or do that. It's the same thing to me, is what he's saying. It's just the 2025 version of it. I think it's fine that the NBA is a highlights league. He's not saying that the NBA, like, we're going to push all of our chips into the highlights package and we're just going to try to create these highlights and not have them like non-organic highlights and try and force some of those things. He's not changing the way that the NBA is. He's just saying that if we are a business and we have this product, and if you don't want to pay for this product in the way that we are best benefiting from it, because using all these different streaming services, we are being able to pay our players more to keep the best talent here because of what we talked about earlier with all the other leagues and all the other different kind of international tournaments and things. Other players are wanting to go place other places. We're doing the best for our business, keeping those players here by getting them to be paid $80 million a year, some of them, because of all these different deals that we have with Amazon and NBC and Peacock and all that. And if you don't want to pay and help us, go through that and take advantage of this and pay for our product, we have this offering for you. It is highlights. You can consume the NBA with highlights. And as an NBA league, we are okay with that. We allow you to post those all over Twitter if you want. And guess what? You, a content creator, I'm not going to take those down. That's what Adam Silver has said. The NFL will. And they will take those down, and they will take them down from YouTube and everything. But the NBA won't. And I think that's the difference to me, which is why I didn't have a problem with what he said.
So we know like Gen Z is a social media generation, and a lot of conversation comes in like, how are we going to keep this sport alive and make sure future generations enjoy it, want to spend money on it? So to that point and aspect, like I get the social media. I think your points too about like, hey, we can access it. And if you're content creators, you can use that, so on and so forth. But I don't want to hear the commissioner saying that. Like it's the messenger for me, where it's like, you, sir, cannot say that we're a highlight league anyways. Like, let someone else, let ESPN say that, or something like, let a media partner push that narrative if you want to. You, sir, need to champion the game itself.
But isn't that what's championing the league for Gen Z? They consume things in short clips.
They do.
Honestly, the weird thing about them though is they consume things in short clips, or they watch like these streamers for hours and hours. So it's like, I don't know where the attention span is. It's got to be in the background somehow. Can we find a way to put the NBA in the background in some way and get them to do that? But this is pushing the product that they will consume though.
It is, but they're not the only target market. Like, we know that's the habits of Gen Z, and you can assume that the next generation will also be very heavy on social media, so on and so forth. But
Alpha.
I can't. Alpha.
That's the next one.
Those
are
tough.
like the actual kids right now. Some people think Gen Z is now like they're like in middle school.
No, and Gen Z like teenagers, kind of like, I think they up to teenagers now. Like they're.
How old do you think people are in middle school?
You know what?
When were you in middle school, Camille?
You got me on that one. It's been so long since I was in middle school. You got me on that one.
Yeah, Gen Z were born between 97 and 2012.
Yeah, because the older ones are in their mid-20s.
So the youngest ones, yeah, that's true. They are older than that. The youngest ones are in middle school.
Yeah, but because I have a cousin who we always argue if he's Gen Z or millennial, and he wants to be millennial so bad, and I'm like, I don't think you make the cut, buddy.
Is he in his 30s?
No, he's in his mid-20s.
No. Sorry, bud. I don't think you're up there with us.
But no, like, again, I get the spirit of it. For me, it's more so the messenger over anything else of like, sure. I don't want to hear that from the commissioner of the sport. I'm
fine hearing it from the commissioner of the sport. He's being honest with, this is what we are. This is what we're about. We have highlights. If you don't want to pay for it, here's the highlight. If
brokey,
just like a streaming service. Hey, you don't want to pay for the non-ad version, the premium version. Here's our BS 720, like one device, ads, all that version of our product.
See, now I'm just seeing Adam Silver like that Chappelle Show skit, like hide the money, y'all. Like that's where I'm at with Silver now. Like I saw an article with The Athletic too that came out today of like how much it would cost to watch all the games. It's like up to $982 if you wanted to watch everything with League Pass, cable.
What are they buying a new television?
They're including your monthly cable subscription in that price, which
why?
Because you would need that to watch like the
900 for the whole year or 900 a month.
The local game. So like they said for the 8 months that you would need.
Oh,
so
yeah.
they said
if you do the full YouTube TV like and all that, it's going to cost you about that for a year.
Yeah, so they said about $720 for your cable. Then you have to pay for the 8 months the season is on, $88 for Peacock, $72 for Prime. But again, if you have Amazon Prime.
The thing for the Mavs we talked about when the schedule came out, Mavs only have 2 Peacock games. So you save that free week and you only use it.
Get that free subscription.
Or maybe you just buy it for that 1 month and then you only have to do it twice.
Then you're out after it's done.
Or you skip that game and you
watch the highlights.
What would you do? That's right. You would watch the highlights, Camille. Coming up, let's play where we count on the most interesting, fun things in the NBA, including Kobe Bufkin got traded today, and there's a bunch of things happening in the NBA. But should Adam Silver make the Clippers an example? We'll talk about that and more coming up. Locked on NBA Game Night continues. Today's episode of Locked on NBA Game Night is brought to you by our friends over at FanDuel. FanDuel Sportsbook has all kinds of props and odds, things that you can use to get in on the action. Camille, your Packers are they're having a time right now. They're enjoying. They're 2-0. You feeling good about your Packers right now?
Feeling great. Feeling excellent.
Okay. Do you know the spread for Packers at Browns?
Ooh, I don't. I would guess it's like what, 6.5?
8.5. Packers 8.5 point favorite in Cleveland. So that means they're actually a 10-point favorite.
In real life.
So you can do all kinds of stuff like that. You can go check out what they have for the NFL. Obviously NBA. There's tons of NBA futures on there as well. And if you feel real confident about that Packers 8.5 or anything else on the site, put down $5, and if your bet wins, you get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. That's if you're a new customer. If you use that, that's your first bet. So if you're ready to play, Camille, you ready to put down
I am.
The Packers? Think they're going to win by 9 or more points?
I think we're going to get at least 10.
Is Shedeur Sanders going to play? Because that's the only thing I'd be interested in for the Browns. It's the only thing.
Hearing how things are going in Cleveland, probably not.
Go check it out at FanDuel. Download the FanDuel app today by visiting FanDuel.com to get started. That's FanDuel.com to place your first $5 bet. Please gamble responsibly.
Big chicken, baby.
I think a lot. I'm very smart.
Take that for that.
Count it up. Count it up. Count it up. Count it up. Count it up.
It's Count It Up, where we count the most interesting, fun things in the NBA. There was a trade today, which, trades are always fun to a degree. This one may be the lowest degree that we could have, but still an NBA trade makes me perk up when I see an NBA trade come across the desk.
Same.
Kobe Bufkin got traded to the Nets for cash. So do they actually? You think they send the cash like in an envelope? Like, how do you think they send the cash?
I would like to see the cash in actual dollars. Like, I want a bag of the money in the trade. Like, have someone deliver like a black truck and just have it like a bag dropped off.
Just a sack.
Just a sack.
They have so many things televised now, so many things on social. Like, they should have clips of the actual exchange. Like, they should have to physically exchange something. Like, who's the, I don't know, the GM of the Hawks takes Kobe Bufkin by the hand and he hands him over to Sean.
You have to watch the exchange.
Sean Marks, in the bag of cash gets handed over. Draft picks are all like draft picks are like the giant checks that they like the Publishers Clearinghouse. Here's a first round draft pick. You hand it over. The Clippers and Thunder trade is just like big check after big check after big check, and like you should have to actually feel it.
Everybody's just holding the check up, smiling.
That's right. Yeah, every Thunder employee is just holding up
right,
a check. Just representatives. Well, I asked Brad Rowland about this trade about Kobe Bufkin, and he basically said it's fair to say that the Hawks are just basically giving up on Kobe Bufkin in this. They did not have to make this deal in order to make something work in the salary cap. He also thinks it's not a big impact on the Hawks itself because Kobe Bufkin was kind of their backup point guard to Trae Young, but he thinks that Dyson Daniels, Luke Kennard, and Nickeil Alexander-Walker are essentially going to act as the backup point guard. My first question, Camille.
Count it up.
Do you buy that? Do you think that's enough for the Hawks?
Probably not. Probably not enough, but is it going to be good enough if you're able to have a top 5 defense and you're able to generate a lot of your offense in transition, other ways like that, and counting on the fact that...
are we getting a Trae Young top 5 defense?
That's that's the thing. Like, can they actually do that? I don't know. But like, if you could, that's a way we're not having like a true backup guard where I'm like, I could see the pathway forward if your defense can help lead the way for you. But I was thinking top 10 personally for the Hawks going into this season. But if you are lacking on the guard play, like defense is a way to generate points for sure.
I think it's enough in today's NBA. I don't think you need like the straight up traditional point guard off the bench anymore. I think if you have one, it's great. Trae Young on the floor last year, by the way, 116.8 defensive rating, which is like 35th percentile.
As soon as I heard the one, what I said,
Now they were very, they were very hurt last year, and so there's and now they're a different team. Obviously, Clint Capella becomes Porzingis. However much he plays, DeAndre Hunter's also gone though. But you go back and forth on some of these. That it's an interesting move to me because now this is where the Hawks are. The Hawks also are one of the few teams, one of the 7 teams that had 5 players in the top 100. I mentioned this for a couple of reasons. One, the Hawks, according to Brad Rowland, have some real spending power now. They have $7.7 million in the in cap space below the luxury tax line. They have the biannual exception. They have 2 meaningful trade exceptions. And again, they didn't need to make this move in order to make some kind of deal, but they could now. And so I'm kind of waiting to see if they do make some kind of move, because a trade like this makes me think that like they've got some flexibility now. Something could happen.
It could happen. And maybe that's just the whole idea of it all, of like, let's just make sure that we have the options to be flexible. Because it's the Hawks team that really thinks that they can compete in the East this year. So like, let's go into this season liking what we have, but also having flexibility to make a change if we see we're not on the track we thought we should be on.
Adam Silver. Oh, by the way, the teams with the 5 in
please tell me
in the top 100. 5. The Thunder had 6.
Makes
They didn't get Case and Wallace in there. He was one of the first ones that missed. They would have had 7. Cavs had 5. Knicks had 5. Timberwolves had 5. Boston technically had 5. They snuck Anthony Simons and Peyton Pritchard in the 90s in there. The Hawks had 5. And the last one floored me.
Who was it?
In the Eastern Conference, 5 players in our Locked On Top 100.
You already said the Knicks. You said the Celtics.
I said the Cavs, said the Celtics, said the Hawks.
I know it ain't the Bucks. We only had 2. You said the Hawks. Is it the Magic?
It's not the Magic.
Ooh, who is it then?
The Toronto Raptors.
Give me a break, Sean.
5 players. Now their average is 75, so they're all low in the top 100. But still, they had 5 players in the top 100. I was shocked by this. The Rockets only had 4.
That's great, but also part of why probably Sean is sitting here saying the Raptors are going to be better than the Bucks this year. We had a whole crossover about it.
I think the Nuggets only have 4.
Great. And okay, Toronto. All right, Locked On host. All right, now.
There's some more information about the Clippers and the Steve Ballmer and the aspirations that they had and all kinds of things, working with aspirations. And there's more things. Zach Lowe said this on his show. I've spoken to multiple team strategists, for example, who told me with chest puff that if the Clippers aren't docked multiple first-round picks, if Leonard's contract isn't voided while his salary obligations remain on the Clippers' books, they will feel emboldened. Oh, this is from Mark Stein, sorry. Will feel emboldened to seek out their own version of shell companies to provide additional compensation to their players. My question is, does Adam Silver need to make an example out of the Clippers?
Adam Silver has to see the Clippers and just kind of rub his temples a little bit. Like, I came into the league, had to deal with the Clippers and that ownership and selling to the team. And now here we are again, more Clippers drama. That's going to be another defining moment of the Adam Silver commish reign. So I do think he has to make an example out of the Clippers. If he finds enough, which I mean, the court public opinion, there's already enough, but based on the NBA investigation, they have to get hit hard for this to discourage other teams from doing this. We've heard him mention this like a cardinal sin in the NBA. So he has to treat it as such.
Yeah, this is tough. This is tough because all of a sudden, maybe the general public thinks that, these teams cheat all the time. Of course, they're tampering with players and doing all kinds of things like this. But this all of a sudden breaks the trust of the rest of the league and this current system. And if the trust is broken with the current system, it becomes an all-out, everything goes, wild, wild west type scenario where we can pay players, we can try different things, we can do some kind of shenanigans and all that kind of stuff. And I think there may be a reason why Mark Cuban is super adamant about that this didn't happen. And so, but yeah, I think that he needs to make an example out of the Clippers because it's just too much. It's too much. And I listened to Darian Vazirian Locked on Clippers today, and he was so frustrated about this situation.
Yeah.
He said, "Send Uncle Dennis and Kawhi Leonard to Siberia if this is true."
No, he has gone through all the emotions of
Darian?
like at first it was like the anger, like, wait, what? And it was like denial and having their back. And then he finally was kind of like, we might be screwed, guys.
The more, it feels like the more information comes out, the more Darian Vaziri's mental health just completely deteriorates as this story. He's like, oh gosh, oh no. Like,
I've been watching Locked On Clippers just to continue to follow the story, see his reaction. And like you said, every episode, I just be like, dang, like, man, you are feeling it right now, Dime. I'm like, I'm sorry, it's your franchise.
Poor dime dropper. Go listen to Locked On Clippers to help him out.
Right, for sure.
Good stuff over there all the time. Go listen to Locked On Bucks, Locked On Mavs. Great stuff on those shows for whoever those hosts are. All those shows are in the link in the description. Go check out Locked On NBA Daily. Wes Goldberg leading the way with Hayes and Matt now. Go check out that show later today. Thanks so much for listening to Locked On NBA Game Night.